Why you should not? Yo, yo. Why you should not? Yo.
Sell. Peace, Clint. Peace, brother. I know that's right. You see it, yeah. They about to be exposed. I've been telling y'all this for the longest. All of this stuff is coming out. They're saying this, but back when Trump was president, there were over 1,000 people they found in the underground tunnel. Trump did a mission. They had the general, I can't remember his name. I think his name starts with a P. He came in and they actually led the mission, right? So let's check this out. This is another full video clip of the of it. Let's see. Let me get to it right quick.
Our nation is here for everyone.
Hold on, guys.
The go-getters, blinksters, haulers, even rock stars. We're America's largest and most automotive retailer, and we love getting you on the road. So to
they'll keep distracting you from the stuff that's really going on to talk about stuff that don't even matter.
What drives you drives us. Auto Nation.
It says add two. Okay, let's go. Let's get into the story. Oh, they're going back. Okay, let me see. I don't know why it's not playing. On video. Let me review it again. It might be down here, guys. It don't matter. I'm about to read this. I showed y'all the video. There's another video, but I think I clicked to it. Let me go back. All right. Here it is. I don't know why it's clicking off. It didn't even want me to go live. I had to keep rescheduling it. Every time I tried to share the screen showing the information, it was rescheduling it. Like, what the heck? I had to reschedule because it wouldn't even play. All right, let's see. I think it's gonna play now. Hopefully we don't have to listen.
We're all button pushers, double tappers,
interview.
And now used car buyers. Go to AutoNation.com today. You'll see thousands of one-price pre-owned vehicles online right now. All your favorite makes and models, all quality inspected, all priced to sell with no hassles. Plus, we'll even pay top dollar for your car. Go to the AutoNation store near you or AutoNation.com.
Are you gonna pay for something that's
what drives you drives us. AutoNation.
All right, let's go. Get to Y'all see how the internet acting? Tried to send it like 5 times. It still won't show it. Crazy. You need to be good for the business. Yep. Look, I'm pressing for it to show the whole screen. It just will not show it. They trying to hide that. All right, we're gonna just read the story because they playing. We ain't got time for that. Okay. I gotta cut these ads off. It's so annoying. New York Post is doing way too much. Then we go back to the other story. Hold on. This is crazy. Y'all see they playing? Let's go to Newsweek. Let's see if Newsweek gonna let it play. Might be in business, guys. Advertisement? No. Let's see. Stop playing. Okay, secret tunnel under New York synagogue sparks the chaotic scenes that you just saw right a minute ago. We're gonna read this. Let me just close this window. We ain't gonna play with these people. See if we can get to the story. Everybody got ads galore. They do not want you to hear this, right? Okay, listen. The group was seeking to stop the construction. There was construction going on. People were going around. People were hearing screams, people yelling or something. They kept hearing noises or something, they said, right? This is a part of the other story. It says they stopped the construction crews filling in the tunnel. They were filling it up. Why were they doing construction to fill up these tunnels? Now, covering something up. Pay attention. According to the Jewish publication Forward, videos have gone viral on the social media show them ripping down the wood panels on a wall in the synagogue, with several men standing in a space behind it in an apparent attempt to stop the tunnel from being sealed off with the cement. Other clips show them turning over wood furniture in the building and clashing with officers. As you guys seen it. Oh, let me see. Maybe with this clip will show more of the same. Look. Let's get back to it. Close out of this. All right. It says several men were led out the building by police officers, as the video has shown. At this time, it is known that a number of individuals were taken into custody. The New York Police Department spokesman said that charges are pending. No injuries were reported, and the spokesperson added, Newsweek has contacted the Chabab Lubavitch headquarters for a comment via email. Obviously, they didn't get no response, I'm sure. The community news outlet Crown Heights Info. Crown Heights is in Brooklyn, New York. It's one of the small suburbs. Reported on the tunnel's discovery in December. A construction worker discovered it spanned from under the women's section of the synagogue. From the women's section of the synagogue to a mikvah, a Jewish ritual cleansing bath, on the corner of Union Street. Now, the synagogue leader decided to close off the women's section until a decision could be reached on how to secure the building. Rabbi Mati Seligson, the media director of the Shabbat Lubavitch movement, said some time ago, a group of extremist students broke through walls in adjacent properties to a synagogue in order to have unauthorized access. So the students did it, huh? Early Monday, a cement truck was brought in to repair those walls. He said in a statement, to repair the walls that the students had broke into, huh? but they heard people screaming and yelling. They had soiled mattresses and things down there. Why was all this stuff down there? Make this make sense. These efforts were disrupted by the extremists who broke through the walls to the synagogue, vandalizing the sanctuary. In an effort to preserve their unauthorized access, they have since been arrested and the building closed pending a structural safety review. That's all I got to say about this underground tunnel with soiled mattresses. And they were throwing the mattresses out. It's not mentioned in here. Let's see if it does later. They were throwing the mattresses out. They were all kind of soiled mattresses. What was going on in there? And why were you guys trying to close it off? And people were heard screaming from these tunnels, right? Let's listen to what Motley Silikson said. Some time ago, a group of extremist students broke through a few walls in adjacent properties to the synagogue, to provide them unauthorized access. Early today, a cement truck was brought to repair those walls. Those efforts were disrupted by what was going on. They were disrupted by what was going on, but yet they had all of these noises coming in. And then all of a sudden, they want to block it off. Even though they found soiled mattresses, all types of things down there, they just, we'll just cement it off and, close this scene off. Like, really? Listen. Seligson said that the Shabab Lubavitch officials have attempted to gain the proper control of the premises through the New York State court system. Unfortunately, despite consistent prevail in court, the process has dragged on for years. Why is that? Why is it dragged on for years? This is obviously deeply distressing to the Lubavitch movement and the Jewish community worldwide. We hope to pray to be able to expeditiously restore the sanctity and the decorum of this holy place. Really, a holy place that has a tunnel from the woman's section to where this sanctified bath is. There's the underground tunnel, soiled mattresses, all this stuff down there, but they talking about it's a holy place. Okay. Rabbi Yehuda Krinsky, he's the chairman of the Chabad Lubavitch movement, issued a statement thanking the New York Police Department for their professionalism and sensitivity. Why were they upset? Why would these people be upset about this tunnel and them not being able to go in there and have officers come in, make it like a crime scene? Anytime they suspect a crime anywhere else, other than one of these type of communities or these temples or these synagogues per se, right? They're always brushed to the side. So who's controlling who? I want to know what's going on. Why is it that they can get away with doing something like this and it be not, there's no type of justification for it? No justice, no preservation of the site to see what's going on. No, let's have DNA analysts come out. They love DNA so much. Use that DNA on some blood spots and the stuff that was found, all these different excrements that were found on these mattresses that they pulled out. Like, why ain't y'all doing that? That's what I want to know. I don't understand. Okay. Anyway, he said they were damaged at the synagogue below. These audacious actions will be investigated, and the sanctity of the synagogue will be destroyed. Will be restored. I said destroyed because that's where it's going. Y'all see it, right? Y'all see this sanctity, this Jewish sanctity that looks to me like an old Manhattan home. Look like one of the indigenous people who are in this area. This looks like their brickwork to me. It looks like their doorways to me. It looks like their window panels to me. But yet they saying it's a Jewish synagogue. We ain't gonna even make that part of the story, part of the issue today. We're gonna talk about these traffickers. Visitors pray outside this world headquarters after it was closed for visitors to the wake of the COVID outbreak in 2020. Right? Now check this out. March 2020. Y'all know March is the third month. January, February, March, 3 months. Third month on 2022. The third month of 2020. That's 60. 60. When you're doing any type of decipher. Y'all see that? No sound. Shit, they kicked me all the way out. Like kicked me out. Not only kicked me out, but shut the Wi-Fi down. It kept saying the Wi-Fi is connected, but it would not connect. It said it's connected, but no internet. It's connected, but no internet. That's really strange, right? It said connected with no internet. That shit was weird. Okay. I know they weren't gonna like that subject. I knew they weren't gonna like that topic. T.L. Morris Grandis Unica Grandis says, "Oh man, I just put a heavy little video out about these people. Literally, the whole thing shut me down, cut me out. Like, okay, we gonna do this. We gonna get back to that, but we ain't gonna get to it right now. I'm gonna do this. We gonna stay right on this. Let me pull this book up real quick. We gonna still talk about y'all. I'm gonna let the book talk. Y'all can't get mad about that, right? Let's talk about this. Let's do this. All these people. We're gonna start with this preface so y'all can get the gist of this book here, because I don't know how much we're gonna get through it. Exactly, Indigenous Crow. That was crazy. It would not even let me back in. I'm sitting here like, why I can't get back in? Next thing you know, it went to boom, AT&T, internet service interruption. What's going on? I'm like, what the heck? So then I'm looking at it. It's like, it's Wi-Fi is connected, but no internet. Wi-Fi is connected, but no internet. That's like real strange, real crazy. So I'm trying to get in touch with them to see what the heck is going on. And man, they just tripping. It's crazy. That's okay though. We about to get right to it, and then y'all still gonna see it. Anybody that didn't see it, we're gonna show it at the end. They want to play, but that's okay. They want to play. People just love playing with me. I don't know why. I'm just, I'm trying to be my best me. It's crazy, the hate I get. Okay, let's go, guys. We about to get into this. Israel and the Gentile. The Israel and the Gentile. You had a family that, you notice when you go in those areas. Now, this is in New York City. I don't know if you guys are very familiar with a lot of the areas where they have these large synagogues. New York City. There's also a few in Buffalo, New York. Buffalo, New York has these temples. Oh my God. When you go in the area, the feeling you get, it's just the eerie. I don't even want to get into it. Me and my kids have talked about it. My daughter went to, she got her master's at Buff State. And when she went there, we used to go visit her, frequently, just to do something on the weekend, maybe or something, we would go see her. And when I tell you, you pass by any of those synagogues, you're talking about an energy ciphering. Jeez. Halito says, oh man, that video I sent you this morning, sis. Yeah, I just played it. And guess what happened? They kicked me straight out. Kicked me plumb out the whole live. Oh my gosh. Let's get into this book, guys. This shit get real crazy around here.
It is, I believe, customary for a translator to say a few words in introducing an author whose work is in this manner ushered before the public in a new garb, and I cannot thus mention Dr.
Let's get to this AI.
Costa, without expressing my wish that the reader of his book may, even in a small degree, participate in the vivid enjoyments which I myself have derived from the gifted writer's own conversation and correspondence. In the author of Israel and the Gentiles, it is not only the poet and the man of letters with whom we become acquainted, neither is it human wisdom alone that flows with eloquence from his lips. We recognize in him the devoted Christian, the true servant of his elder brother according to the flesh, whom he worships as Messiah, his King, and his God. We behold in him one who has left riches and honor, and counted them as not so that he might win Christ, and whose life is spent in diffusing around him the light of the knowledge of God. These sketches, as Dr. Da Costa himself has remarked, are incomplete, especially the latter part, where he could hardly have canvassed the characters of distinguished men who are still alive. With respect to the want Of strict chronological arrangement which may he observe in some parts of the work, he wishes to state his conviction, that history ought to follow the connection of circumstances rather than the precise sequence of time, and he has chosen, therefore, to place facts and opinions in certain groups, in preference to a close adherence to the ordinary more exact method. It is, perhaps, necessary to mention that one or two passages of Scripture have been translated afresh from the original Hebrew, instead of being copied from the authorized version. Mark J. Kennedy. 44, Norfolk Square, Brighton, December 10, 1849. It may, perhaps, not be quite without interest to my English readers to know that I am, by birth, a descendant of one of those Jewish families who, in the 17th century, sought refuge in the Netherlands from the persecutions of Spain and Portugal. From my earliest youth, the history of my forefathers has been an object of meditation and study. The modem part, especially, first drew my attention, and both my heart and imagination were captivated by the task of exploring the annals of Israel's dispersion and exile. I sought eagerly for an answer to the important question, what can be the reason of my people's continuing to be a nation, after having lost all the requisites usually essential to a national existence? Through the merciful guidance of the God of my fathers, my attempt to solve this question became, in his hand, the means of leading me to the knowledge of his blessed Son, the Lord Jesus. I will not here relate the various circumstances which contributed to prepare my mind to receive conviction and faith. This instance will suffice for our present purpose. Amid the atmosphere of incredulity and false religious opinion in which I lived, my researches into the records of my ancestors, and of my nation, brought me, by degrees, to acknowledge the historical truth of the Old and, subsequently, of the New Testament. I was led insensibly, from thought to thought, from induction to induction, till I came to the simple and certain conclusion, that the wonderful and unprecedented circumstance of the existence of the Jewish nation and their varied doctrines, during the space of 3,000 or 4,000 years, could only be accounted for by admitting these three truths: their election by God as his people, on account of that just one who found is to be born of the seed of Abraham, their present misery, because of their rejection of Messiah, and the divine origin of the prophecies, foretelling their long period of suffering, as well as their future restoration and conversion.
Happy birthday, right?
Thus, from mere family interests, was I led, by the providence of God, to trace the history of my people up to the call of Abraham, and to follow it from thence to the coming of Jesus Christ, the Son of David, the light of the Gentiles, and the glory of his people Israel.
To do that.
More than a quarter of a century has now elapsed since the epoch which decided the fate of my whole life.
You know I got
and yet
agents
Israel's
against me
history,
around here, so
as written in the
ain't
book
no
of
telling.
books, or found in the scattered records of their 1,800 years of exile, has never ceased to occupy my thoughts, and to employ a portion of my time. While entering into the details of this wondrous history, I have discovered more and more its perfect harmony with the dispensations of God, and the declarations of his word, and the Jewish nation has been brought to my view more strikingly as an abiding testimony to the truth of the Christian religion, a living commentary upon the scriptures, a certain pledge of the entire fulfillment of prophecy. The sketch of Jewish history presented in these pages, and viewed in the light of Christian truth, may perhaps appear as foolishness, and an offense to my brethren concerning
this book is
flesh,
interesting, but not the one I wanted, guys. I think I pulled up the wrong one.
Find,
This is
nevertheless,
Israel and the
that
Gentiles,
it still
and
bears
this
the
is the one I
impress of
wanted
its
to get
author's
into. Hold on a
Israelitish
second.
origin. Surely, in confessing myself, by the grace of God, a carrot disciple of Jesus Christ, I did not cease, nay, then I only began, to rejoice that I was indeed a Jew.
Here we go.
And now, let my book speak for
Here we
itself.
go.
In giving it the title of a sketch, I have disavowed every pretension to its being considered a regular history, or even an attempt at one. A universal history of the Jews in modern times, relating their wanderings, and entering into the details of their manners, customs, literature, and biography, on the scale
Yeah, let's get into this real quick, guys. I'm gonna drop that other book in case anybody wanted to listen to it. Let's go here.
Introduction. Among histories of Christianity, there has long existed a gap, which either has passed unnoticed or has been deemed of little consequence by Christian scholars. It is only where this gap is at its narrowest, in the early days of the church, that any consideration has been paid to it, and then the treatment of the subject involved. The life and faith of primitive Jewish Christianity has been of the most partial
character.
When
people, let me say this.
A common judgment has been expressed by the late Dr.
Ward. Certain thing, but I'm gonna say it in code. When people mention you and they'll say, "Oh, you're talking about such and such," if it was so important, you wouldn't be on YouTube. I mean, shit, YouTube gonna really pay attention to what is she talking about? They already been banning me playing with me and all of that. I keep showing you that everything I show everybody when you guys come over here is nothing but facts and truth. I show it in their own books. They tell on themselves. I ain't got to say nothing. All I got to do is read what they done did, show y'all by their own accord, their own records. So by their own accord, they are actually documenting the information for the indoctrination of the nation. So when that's going on, it's crazy how people can say that's like pseudo, it's fake, or oh, you're making this up, or da 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 da. But I ain't want to get too much in that, but I definitely wanted to say that, guys. It's crazy that you can start to be shadow banned, as you said, due to certain actions. I try to omit drama just so that I'm not a part of that, being noticed under, certain things. But we definitely gonna keep the frequency up this year because y'all already know I don't got time for no nonsense. As I stated, private group information be going out probably in the next week and a half, 2 weeks. We'll have the first meeting at the end of the month. All instructions. Anybody that is with it, they with it. If you're not, I don't know what to tell you. And yeah, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna start being real easy over here on YouTube to make sure that we don't have any issues with what people are getting. Because the people that are supposed to come to me, they've been coming and they still coming. They're gonna keep coming. So we're gonna just start to do things in a different format. So we don't have to have people judging anything while you're moving and elevating yourself in your life. Like, let's do that. Period.
In his lectures on Judaistic Christianity, he describes the Jewish church as a natural product of the circumstances of the apostolic age, living on for some generations, and that probably not without times of revival, but becoming more and more evidently a feudal anachronism as the main body of the church grew up into a stately tree in the eyes of all men, and at length dying naturally away. This point of view can no longer be held by the serious investigator.
Not 10.
Gentile Christianity has been
12.
Intelligibly enough preoccupied with its own rise to power and influence, and in the first flush of that power it sought by anathema, suppression and wholesale destruction of documents to overthrow the witness of Jewish Christianity. If there was a death at all,
let's hear that part
which there is good cause to doubt, Gentile Christianity has been intelligibly enough preoccupied with its own rise to power and influence, and in the first flush of that power it sought by anathema, suppression and wholesale destruction of documents to overthrow the witness of Jewish Christianity.
Wholesale destruction of documents,
which there is good cause to doubt, it was not natural one, it was matricide. Far from becoming a feudal anachronism, its spirit and human activity has persisted until the present day, and is even now undergoing a revival on a scale unknown since apostolic times.
Oh, wow.
Jewish Christianity has always existed to supply that of which the church has stood in need, the messianic vision. Gentile Christians in conversation with Jews have often spoken of Jesus as our Savior, and your Messiah. Yet Jesus is as much the Messiah of the Gentiles as he is of the Jews. Only the Catholic Church has largely lost the sense of the meaning of that exalted office. If it were not so, if the true preaching of the kingdom of God had been carried out according to the gospel injunction, the horrors of warfare would have long since ceased between so-called Christian countries. The only diplomatic corps that Europe would require would be ambassadors for Christ. A few Christian scholars who have been at pains to study the subject have deplored the lack of any textbook to which the student could turn. Canon A. Williams has written, "It is much to be wished that some really trustworthy history of Christianity in relation to Jews were in existence." And more recently Dr. Parks, in reviewing the available literature, states, finally there is the question of the Judeo-Christians. A number of books are quoted dealing with the rise of the Gentile church, but I doubt whether full justice has yet been done to this section of the early church. At least, I have not been able to find an adequate study of the subject. Clearly, then, the gap is there to be filled, but the present work, constructive as it is, makes no pretensions to be exhaustive. It rather outlines the cavity and indicates the materials which are available to render it solid and permanent. It can claim, however, to be the very first attempt to provide a connected account of Jewish Christianity from the 1st to the 20th century. There have been studies of limited periods, particularly of the first 2 centuries, and information of one kind and another is to be found scattered up and down the pages of a veritable library of ancient and modern authors, and where these are not mentioned in the text, I can only express a general indebtedness to the authorities consulted. I have taken care to give full and exact references, as these constitute the evidence for the statements made, and on this account the book seems too much like a string of quotations. The intention has been to anticipate criticism on many controversial points and to provide the general reader with the actual words of documents with which he cannot be expected to be familiar. It is all the more necessary to chart the landmarks and principal features when entering unexplored territory for which no map is in existence. At least I have precedent of Eusebius, Bishop of Caesarea, whose ecclesiastical history is so indispensable, and whose introductory words so well reproduce my own situation. Acknowledging that it is beyond my power to present the work perfect and unexceptionable, I freely confess it will crave indulgence, especially since, as the first of those that have entered upon the subject, we are attempting a kind of trackless and unbeaten path. Looking up with prayer to God as our guide, we trust, indeed, that we shall have the power of Christ as our aid, though we are totally unable to find even the bare vestiges of those who may have traveled the way before us, unless, perhaps, what is only present in the slight intimations, which some in different ways have transmitted to us in certain partial narratives of the times in which they lived, who, raising their voices before us, like torchbearers at a distance and, as looking down from some commanding height, call out and exhort us where we should walk, and whither direct our course, with certainty and safety. Whatsoever, therefore, we deem likely to be advantageous to the proposed subject, we shall endeavor to reduce to a compact body by historical narration. For this purpose we have collected the materials that have been scattered by our predecessors, and culled, as from some intellectual meadows, the appropriate extracts from ancient authors. I have striven to be as impartial and just as a subject in which partiality and injustice have previously played so large a part will allow. I believe that I have fairly represented the attitude of the Gentile Church and of the Jewish people. I have not sought to gloss over the failings of the Jewish Christians, while freeing them from a great deal of misrepresentation. The measure of my
Jewish
faithfulness
Christians,
to what
I thought Jews
deemed to be the facts will be for the
and
reader
Christians
himself
were
to
different.
judge. Criticism is likely to
I
come
thought
because
Jews
of my
and Christians
treatment
were
of the early
different
days of
people.
Christianity, but I trust that readers will be broad-minded enough to concede my right of interpretation of the fragmentary data in the way that have done. The evidences have been accumulating, and partly due to the painstaking if unpalatable researches of Dr. Robert Easler, which tend to show that Jewish Christianity was a much more fundamental thing, politically, socially and spiritually than ecclesiastical historians have been disposed to admit. One day the whole story of Christian beginnings will have to be rewritten, and any day may bring to light again part of the...
So does it sound to you like maybe taking Christianity and, trying to assume the role of what would be the people that are Israelites, right? Maybe assuming the role of Israelites. If you were Christians, actually the Cretans that crossed over the Black Sea into Africa, those Cretans being African actually because they were migrating into Africa, but they're actually Christians. Those were the real Christians, right? See, they confuse you because they'll tell you it's a religion. different religions come from different sources, right? There's there's Islam, there's Jews, there's Israelites, Hebrew Israelites. There's like 4 different Islamic type faith, but they're different faith. But they say they're all Islam, but then some will say they're Hebrew, they're this, they're that. It's like all these different religious aspects. The religious aspects come into play, right? But is it possible that that's a mask? Is it possible that the aspect of being religious stems from the creeds? Maybe I should show you guys what the creeds are. Let's look up the creeds real quick. Give you guys a pretty good idea of what the creeds are. Maybe I need to actually show you. I've told you guys this over the past 2 years, but I don't know if people actually see it. Let's see. The creeds, right? There is a place called the Great Sea, right? And on the other side of the Great Sea, on the other side of Africa, the Great Sea was the island of Crete. The Crete was where the Cretans come from. Cretans is for Christian. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Let's check out Cretans and Cretanism. Let you guys get a full idea of these Cretans. Maybe I should even show you guys the definition before we get to the book. Let's do that. Let me show you guys this real quick. Cretans. Let me see if Google won't play around. Don't knock me out again. Don't knock me out again. I want you guys to see something real quick. Okay, Cretans. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Cretans. Cretin. There is an island on the other side of the lake, the Great Sea, right? On the other side of the Great Sea, which is on the coast of Africa. Just to clarify for you guys, if I feel like it, I may pull it up. All that digging I don't really want to do. Y'all can go look yourself. Okay, I'm telling you, just go look. Look at Africa and see if you see something that was called the Great Sea, or look up the Great Sea, and then you'll see on the other side of that river, of that sea or river, it may be a river. Is the Crete Island. So the Cretans crossed over into the shores of Africa via that sea. Now check this out. What is a Cretan? Right? I want y'all to hear it.
Cretan.
A Cretan. It is a stupid person. That might sound like a person that after you had a nativity, they have you down as an imbecile, right? A stupid person, used as a general term of abuse. A person whose mental and physical development has been impaired by a deficiency of thyroid hormones in fetal or early life. Now, what happens with these people being over there on the other side and coming from the Crete Island, where there were mountains that had cold air, and these people were in the mountains. That movie Children of the Eye. This is what that movie Children of not Children. What's the name of the Hills Have Eyes? That's the name of it. The Hills Have Eyes. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie. I've seen parts of it. I couldn't even watch the whole thing. It was so disgusting. But there's a movie called The Hills Have Eyes. You guys have to look at it. It's showing the people that were living in the hills, and they were, they had these deformities. They were like monstrous people. These are humans. These are the humans. Humans are monsters, right? So the Cretans, these are the people of from that particular movie. Right. So these people had deformities. This is true life. I'm gonna show you guys in a minute. Just pay attention. I just want you to see this, that it's a person whose mental and physical development has been impaired by the deficiency of their thyroid hormone in the fetal or early life, because they were deprived of deficiency, right? Deprived of sun, a couple of mental things going on. Let's see if I got to go to another page, or if it's gonna pull up here. Let's see. See if what they got for Christians. Power of Christ comes from da-da-da. Let's see. Let me see. Maybe I got to put Christian Cretans to see what comes up. Cretan from Christian. Who are the Cretans in the Bible? Let's see what this says. Who were the Cretans in the Bible? Their history was that of sailors and even mercenary seamen, a mixed people group lacking identity. They were known as liars, thieves, and riotous people. That sound like people that might have mental disabilities, like deformities in the brain, right? Pay attention. Titus 1:12. One of their own prophets said to them, Cretans are always liars and evil beasts, lazy gluttons. Cretans. Who were the Cretans? Cretans of today, Christian meaning French, Cretans in the Bible, ethnicity are Cretans. What ethnicity are the Cretans? Let's check that out. Cretans are Greeks, and they have always been Greeks. They are called Cretans because they originate from Crete. What did I just tell y'all? They originate from Crete. I'm a Cretan, and ethnic and cultural Hellene, meaning Greek. Remember these words, guys. You know, they play with these words. Let me see. Dang, I wish I got an old map, but y'all, I could not find it. I did look for it. Damn, it's not showing it. There's literally an old map. I'll try and post it if I can find it later. But there's an older map. Let me see. I'll visit the page if it shows it. Still not showing it. There's an older map that shows the Crete Sea, and it shows right there in the island. And I'm trying to see it on here, but it won't let me zoom in, guys. But you guys see that, right? I just want to make sure. And y'all, I couldn't find what I wanted to pull up on this, but you still see right here. They are the Greeks they originate from Crete, right? I just explained that to you guys, right? Okay, now check this out. Let's see. What else did I want to show y'all guys? Cretans. Let me see if I can pull it up. Cretans. What else can I see? I want y'all to see something particularly. Let me think. Cretans deficiencies cause mental issues. Let me see if that pulls something up. Iodine deficiency. Okay, that's thyroid. When your thyroid is deficient of iodine, remember we just read that. That's in the National Institute of Health. I don't want to click on that yet. Let's see if we see something else. What deficiency, cretinism causes mental disability? Okay, let's see that. Severe iodine deficiency may lead to endemic cretinism, which is characterized by a number of abnormalities, such as mental retardation, neurological abnormalities. Lord, what is wrong with me this morning? I'm sorry, guys, I'm a little tired. Neurological abnormalities and hearing disorders. These abnormalities may occur in various combinations, but impaired mental development is always a component. Y'all see it? This is what a cretin is, right? I just want to put this in the chat as a reminder. Oh, a couple of people came in. Peace, sis. Peace, Rob. Peace. Yep, dead in the mind, like literally deceased. And they keep wanting to tell you that you were Christian. These people want to run around here. I'm a Christian. Do you know what you're saying, baby? Do you know what you're saying? Do you know these people have you mentally and psychologically brainwashed? I'm trying to get this. Psychologically brainwashed to want to be a Christian, which means you're deformed, which means that you are what? It takes you right back to this. It means you are a zombie, sis. Right. You're a straight zombie. Your mind is deficient of iodine, making a mental retardation. It's telling you right there. Cretinism causes mental disabilities. Yes. Severe iodine deficiency may lead to an endemic cretinism, which is characterized by a number of abnormalities, right? A number of abnormalities, right? Such as mental retardation, neurological abnormalities, and hearing disorders, right? These abnormalities may occur in various combinations, but impaired mental development is is always a component. The impairment of mental development is always a component of these people. That's right, the Antichrist, because the Christ is what? The enlightened mind, the pineal full of light, right? Right, sis? That's right, sis. That's right, sis. Because what? Anti would mean the opposite of Christ. So Antichrist is the opposite of Christ. So what? We know in true definition, when they try to make you think other things, that the Christ is what? The Christ mind, right? Having the Christ mindset. Having your mind in the right place. Having your mind in the right position. When your mind is in the right space, right? Peace, Brazilian monk. Peace, peace, peace. Thanks for coming in. King of all men. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Peace, peace, and bliss. Right? When your mind is deficient of Christ, right, sis? When your mind is deficient of Christ, that means it's deficient of light. Iodine having a deficiency to cause issues with the thyroid because it's devoid of what? Light, which is what? Energy, which is what? Only proceed from the crystalline being, because the crystal can actually resonate to create a balance or a normal frequency in it. I don't know if nobody understanding that. I don't know if y'all understanding that. Yes, zombie. They coming back. Since they was getting on my nerves with that. Because they like, these people just as dead. Look, it's nothing but light out here in the world right now. People still dead in their mind. What's going on? This is why they was talking about people. They still dead in their mind. All the light out here, right? All this light, the sun and shining. And people can still be devoid of the light. That means what? They can't even recognize the light, right? They can't even recognize the light when they see it. The way, the truth, and the life, it shall be revealed, right? And when it's revealed to you, right, you might not even be able to pick up on it. You might not even be able to notice it. You might not know the false light from the real light, because what? They've been fooling y'all for a long time. Remember, they switched your digital TV. Remember, they switched the frequency up on you. You know, they keep switching from 5G, 4G, 6G, 7G, 10G. We don't know what G we on. They'll tell you whatever because they're messing with the frequencies, the electromagnetic energy fields that are around this particular planet, right? Because that does what? It affects you, because you're the crystalline being. So as long as you're being affected mentally, right, you are devoid of light. Being devoid of light, that means you are what? In your mind, you are suffering and you are having the experience of an antichrist in your mind. The zombie, like sis said, they was talking about the zombie, telling people that they deficient in their mind. They're not able to even recognize truth, the truth of light. The false lights have been blinding people for so long. Right, sis, exactly. Gang stalkers. Yes. Bots. People you think like it's just crazy. You be walking into these people, don't even realize it. When your brain is deficient and void of light, it's what? It's dark. That means it's not no light in there. That means it's dark. If it's dark, that's like you have a light, you turn it off. It's dark. So when it's dark in your mind, you're considered to be what? Black in your mind, blind in the mind, an imbecile, not able to stand on truth, which is what? Your true being, standing in yourself, into your true self. If you stand in your true self, then you'll be able to see the light. I am the way. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the light. Because it is only I, right? I am the only one that is I. Me and you together make a we. Turn the we upside down. You got me. Me is we. We are all what? Part of the same ether, the same programming, the same crystal light beings that are all a part of the same system that is the organic, natural light, right? But people don't understand it. That's why they can't operate in the light. You cannot operate in the light if you're not connected to it. It's understandable. When people have a disconnection, right? What is going on? There's a deficiency in their mind. Do you guys understand? You guys see the connection or not? I want to know. Put a one in the chat if y'all see the connection. If you see the connection, that there's a deficiency in the mind, which is, like sis said, antichrist, a deficiency of the crystalline being operating in the way, the truth, and the light. Y'all don't know how deep this is and how real it is. Zeke, do I know Zeke? Who is Zeke? Unfortunately, King, as soon as I looked over, that was the first comment I seen. I don't know Zeke. Who is Zeke? Please show me. Let me know. It's something that you want to share, some information, a video. I'm open to that as well. Yep. Only using 10% of your brain because they've captured most of it. They stopped you from birth when they cut that placenta off, depriving you of a third of your oxygen from your mind. This is why they try to say that, because we holding captive that 1/3% of it on that nativity that we use as your corporate soul, literally having the breath of your life that they have concealed and put into a nativity with your blood, making a binding contract with you in the state, putting you on the stock market, being traded as cattle. This shit's so deep. And the way they keep playing with y'all out here, and the way people don't want y'all to see the light. Anytime anybody's bringing y'all information, man, these people can distract y'all from it. But it's meant for them to be distracted because it ain't for them. It ain't for them. They might have been drawn over here by a false light and energy. I'm so glad I lost 30-some people after a debacle the other week. I ain't gonna even get into them 30-some people. I'm like, I kept asking, please, yes, do the cleansing. I'm going into 24 with more. Stop playing with me. I don't know who they thought I was. Do y'all know who I am around here? I don't even got to be boastful or prideful or play or none of that shit. Do y'all know who I am around here? I don't even got to say it. I am. You know who you are. If you know who you are, then you know who I am. That's real talk. If you know who you are, you know who I am. Come on now. Yep. Zombie walking around in darkness with no brain, deficient in the mind. Bright lights jam the memories. Come on. Indigenous Crow, come on. Bro, state it. Jam their memory. They done took in so much of this false light, fake energy. False light is what? Anything that makes you devoid or deficient in your cells operating sufficiently. Meat, mutation of cells, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, which is pharmakia. Pharmakia is witchcraft. Look it up. Pharmakia, these the switching up of the cells. As I said, the cell system. The cellular towers being affected. What cellular towers? The 5G, 4G, 5G, 6G, whatever they want to say it is. We don't even know what damn G it is. All we know is it's a frequency manipulator, right? And we also know that with having that frequency manipulator, all that it did was jam up your cells, guys. The brother that hit it on, he right with me, bro. I love you. He right with me. Listen, jammed up y'all cells. Oh, he was asking you, sis? Okay. I just saw that. Jamming up your cells, literally, the light code cells, the binary frequency cells I keep telling you about. I keep telling y'all about the binary frequency cells. Long as you flood yourself with false information, which is light coding, which makes a deficiency in your mind and your thinking, your brain, your thoughts, you in general, literally mutating your body. You're taking in chemtrails. You're taking in what is it? Fluoride. You have all these things that are helping to make you be deficient in your mind. And then you're taking in false information. People listening to people with nonsense and not being able to understand what the truth is for themselves. Listening to people following in these little gangs and popularity contests. And I ain't here to be popular. I'm here to tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. If it's meant for you, you're going to hear it. You're going to be here. If not, you'll be cleansed from my atmosphere. Trust and believe that. Because it ain't for you. Everybody don't deserve that light. You understand? This special over here. Anybody that's in my earshot, they special. They got to be. If they tuned in to me, got to be playing with me. If you can't understand what's real, real recognize real. You know that saying, real recognize real. You feel me? If you can't understand what's real and what can be proficient in your life, what can be enlightening in your life, what can be uplifting in your life, what can make you more knowledgeable in your life, what can enlighten you with information so that you're yourself taking in light coding and opening up the binary frequency, man, it's crazy. It's real crazy. Yep, the cell phone. I did a build on it last week, brother. You got to go check it out. I think it might have been the last build I did. talking about that. I was talking about the frequencies and the energy and the manipulation, showing you guys how that computer system is built to literally destruct you. But yeah, all this stuff, the Wi-Fi, we're all connected to. Y'all remember a few years ago, they kept talking about we're all be connected to the World Wide Web, the World Wide Web. But I'm like, what the hell does they keep screaming of this World Wide Web? Yes, sis. I'm so grateful. I asked for this 2 months ago. The manifestation is gonna come. And to be honest, I wasn't even very precise when I asked, right? So the way that it came, I welcome it still, I still welcome it because I asked for the cleansing. All of a sudden, like within the last few months, I got like a swarm of people. I get a few people here and there. In the last few months, ever since I did that, what was it? The Snyder video. Man, they was just coming, emailing me, sending me messages, all of this stuff, all about this Snyder stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, all these greedy people that want to just betray themselves, their ancestors, turn themselves over to be more of a ward of the state to help these people out of the bankrupt situation they're in. They're trying to use them and they're going to play another part in it. I knew I was pulling in too much of the wrong frequency. So, on a sense of that, a lot of that had to leave. And I asked for it. I said, man, I got to get rid of this. Some of this, I got to have some cleansing going on. I asked for that a little bit after my birthday, sometime like November, early December. And bam, there it go. Asking you shall receive, knocking the door shall be open. Sometimes it depends on how hard you're knocking or how light and polite you are. It might be opened up and you might get some on the other side you don't want to see. But either way, you open the door. You feel me? So I can't get upset about it. Dang, sis. Dang, that's a blessing. Not a blessing. That's awesome, sis. That's awesome. Talk about it. Sis, so it might have been the weather here too, sis. Oh my God, sis, they came in, they literally knocked me out for like 5 minutes. I couldn't even get back in. It was crazy. Talking about the Wi-Fi was connected, but it was no service, this, that. It did it like 3 times. I had to reschedule the live. I had it scheduled for 9 o'clock, reschedule it to 9:30, reschedule it to 10. I'm like, whoa, this is getting crazy. And then they knocked me right out. But yeah, let's get back to this real quick, guys. I want you guys to see this. I know y'all know I get to going on and on, but I want y'all to understand that your light and everything is so important. So what is a deficiency in its words most common cause of brain damage, right? Iodine deficiency. Iodine deficiency, not being able to absorb true light. Iodine, the thyroid. I don't know if you guys remember a couple years back when they were talking about the Kanika Jenkins. Anyone ever heard the Kanika Jenkins story? A couple years back in one of the I can't remember. I think it wasn't in Harvey. Where was it? Dalton. No. One of the suburbs of Chicago. There's the young lady that was found in the freezer. Do you guys remember that? Her thyroid was missing. Her thyroid gland was missing. And guess who had a surgery? Guess who had a surgery like 3 days after this event? Miraculously. Selena Gomez. I wonder if y'all heard about that. Y'all know Selena Gomez had a surgery for a thyroid surgery 3 days after this. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know a month later, the same people in that same neighborhood in the same particular let me see. I gotta look it up because I gotta tell y'all the exact suburb it was. Where was Kanika Jenkins found deceased? Let's see. Rosemont. Dang, I don't know how I forgot that. Okay, so yes, Rosemont, Illinois, right? Now, right in that same area, they had a blood bank or a facility. I don't want to take time to pull that story up. But if you guys are familiar, they had a blood bank facility or something, right? They were trying to transport through the airport body parts. The same people that were in connection with the Kanika Jenkins story. The same people that were in connection with the Kanika Jenkins story. I don't want to get too much in that, y'all. I tell y'all, when I get to talk about some of this stuff, it just brings back memories of so much nonsense. Yes, just remember that, yeah. Oh, yeah, they took it out the salt. Yep, we used to have iodine in the salt. Salt. That's why you got to get the Celtic salt. Oh, yeah, let me put that down. Celtic salt, very high in those minerals, in all minerals. Iodine, quite a few other minerals. I can't think of which ones. I saw it on TikTok and I actually looked at it. I'm like, Celtic salt? I never even heard of that. So yeah, but it's awesome, guys. I looked into it myself, and it is definitely a great salt. I love sea salt, pink Himalayan salt. I also use purple sea salt. It's high in all kind of vitamins. Oh my gosh, and it's delicious as heck. I ain't gonna even lie to you. That purple sea salt, man. If you ever could find some, y'all. I haven't bought any in a while. I have like very little bit left. I use it sparingly because I haven't seen it anywhere since I've been in Texas, actually, at all. Oh, why you say that, sis? Kelp, wait, oh yeah, kelp. Oh yeah, I like those the little kelp chips. They're good. I get the little packages of them. They have like the sea salt. They have like a garlic one. Very good. Nice, nice light snack. Lots of minerals. Let's get to the book, guys. So you guys get it. I don't got to keep going in on these freaking cretins. Y'all get it. But I'm gonna let y'all see a little bit of this. Cretins and cretinism. Then we're gonna get back. Y'all know where we started because I'm gonna get to that video, y'all. We're gonna try to make sure the video has been running good. Everything should be fine. And yeah, we're gonna go to this one. I hope this is the right one I pulled up because I got like 4 of them. This is the first one, and I'm gonna just let this one go. Come on, this thing moving slow. Playing with me too, see? Yeah, I'm in and out. I am kind of, trying to take care of 2 things at one time. Couldn't find my laundry detergent last time I went shopping, so it took me a minute to get it, about a week or so. I'm like, Lord, I'm gonna pile up all these clothes. So yeah, I'm kind of doing 2 or 3 things, guys. Y'all gotta excuse me. So I am a little bit in and out. I'm right in the same area though. So if anyone puts something in the chat in regards to anything that we are going over, I will get right to you guys, okay? Yeah, iodine tablets are used in radiation exposure. I didn't know that, sis. Really? Iodine tablets used in radiation exposure. Wait a minute. I don't know. Girl, I'm telling you, I'm a little tired, y'all, but I'm still up because I got stuff to do. But my cognizant dissonance is like really off. Okay, let me read this correctly. Iodine tablets are useful. Are used in radiation exposure. Oh, yes, sis. It would be helpful. You mean, would it be good? Yes, they are. Yes, sis. Absolutely. Girl, I couldn't get that question. I'm so sorry. I'm telling you, I'm a little out of it, but we about to get to it. I'll waking up a little bit. I got me some tea. Got me a nice tea I brewed. I put some spice in it. It's slamming. Y'all already know. Anybody know me know I'm drinking hibiscus. I got hibiscus, ginseng, lemon, honey. What else did I put in here? Moringa, lemongrass, green tea, and I think I did elderberry tea. There's a green tea with elderberry by Bigelow. I love that tea as well. So yeah, guys, I got like me a rainbow tea over here. This thing be so good. I make my half gallons, and yeah. Oh yes, sis. I definitely was telling y'all about them devices. People don't listen to half the stuff I be saying. Whole Foods and Wegmans grocery. Yep. Wagner. Oh my God. L. Edmonds. Hold on, sis. Hold on, sis. Don't tell me you got a Wegmans. Where you at, sis? You in North Carolina where they just built the Wegmans? This is totally off topic, sis. Stop playing with me. Don't tell me you got a Wegmans where you at. I've been looking for, listen, my nephew work at the warehouse, and this this boy, he be so busy. He ain't sent me my package yet. I'm still waiting. Ain't he? I'm sending it. Boy, send my stuff. I'm mentioning it right now. Nephew, get on me. Get on me. I need that. Been what, a week and a half, almost 2 weeks now. Sis, are you near a Wegmans? Are you in New York, sis, or Carolina? If you don't want to stay on here, just text me. Let me know, because I'm wondering now. Oh my gosh, I did not know you even had you got a Wegmans. That's like my store. Oh my gosh, if y'all get blessed to get a Wegmans in y'all town, I'm telling you, never find no fresher food, the best organic products, organic everything. They own line of organic products. Oh man, y'all. I don't even want to tell y'all. I think I remember. I done did Bill talking about. Oh, I miss Wegmans. I miss Wegmans. I can't even eat properly up here in Texas. I barely eat anything because the food is disgusting. The vegetables, the fruits are fake. The meat is disgusting as it is. I only eat a little bit of turkey and chicken here and there. No, I shouldn't even be eating that. But I still have a little turkey and chicken. But since I've been here, that's rare. I barely can get me any type of chicken. Empress Freedom Feathered. Oh my gosh, y'all tripping. Somebody gotta give me a package. I'm gonna have to cash app somebody. Listen, if I tell y'all, oh, are you serious, sis? I got a few items from there last year. I went back for about a week. Got a few things, but yeah. My daughter, she picked up a couple of things too. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. My oldest baby, she did send me a couple of things about a month and a half ago. But listen, I'm telling y'all, I got a list, and I don't be wanting people to ask for too many things because it's like, dang, the weight, the heaviness be so heavy to ship it, certain items. But man, that's crazy. Y'all making me homesick now. Okay. All right, y'all, let's go.
As greatly as the surface of our world is diversified by the appearances of continents and seas, mountains and valleys, rivers and lakes, so greatly, a very slight survey will serve to show, the inhabitants populating it vary in their physical and mental endowments. These diversities, which may be enumerated, as complexion, height, the activity of the mind, and more particularly the configuration of the head and the cast of the features, are found to be confined to certain localities. This naturally leads to the conclusion that such appearances are characteristic of different nations, the offspring of different races. From this has sprung up, in modern times, a new science entitled ethnology, or the physical history of man, which science, while yet in its infancy, endeavors to classify those changes which we meet with, and attempts to discover the early origin of the human race. The greater number of ethnologists are agreed that all the different appearances which we meet with in man are the varieties produced from one common stock, in like manner as we find among the lower animals the infinite varieties of the pig and of the dog, are new conditions accommodated to circumstances, and which, if allowed to run wild, and thus get rid of the influencing circumstances, would return to the form of the B, formed by Blumenbach, viz., the Caucasian, Mongolian, Ethiopian, American, and Malay. Each of these may be subdivided into other varieties, into nations and families, each possessing their distinctive peculiarities, however, not important enough to be considered as distinctive of a race. Education, manners, and customs, diet and climate, have certainly a very great and undeniable influence on the structure of the human body. It is then from these, and similar external influences, that we have to deduce the many varieties which we encounter. This variety is peculiarly striking when we compare the inhabitants of distantly situated lands with each other, when we find that one land the strong peculiarities of another are not to be traced, the less so, the greater the distance that lies between them. But this distinctive barrier between nations is less marked the nearer their lands approach each other, and, on the nearest approach, the distinctions seem to melt into one another, and gradually to vanish. From the North Pole to south of the equator, we find the human race changed indeed very materially, but easy as it is to show the marked difference existing between a Caffrey and a Grekenlander, yet we should find it a very difficult task specifically to distinguish the steps by which the nations between the two are gradually blended into one another. We find deified pure complexion of our own country pass in imperceptible steps, from nation to nation, through the yellow, red, and brown complexions, to the glossy black of the Negro. His imperceptible transition depends, no doubt, on the perpetually changing, and gradually following one another, new external influences.
Wow.
At the poles we possess the lowest degree of natural temperature. This becomes by insensible degrees thermogluar as we travel towards the equator, till we reach a point which we'll know as the temperate zone, and from this to a drier and purer climate, to a thinner air, until we arrive at the highest degree of temperature in the torrid zone. This change of temperature, so decidedly marked, must then in itself exercise a considerable influence on the inhabitants, and, besides, from its influence over the animal and vegetable worlds, it of course alters their mode of diet and life in general, which alterations are, no doubt, those which originally caused the great varieties of the human race, descended from one stock, as we believe it to be. But still more striking changes occur when there is no such change of latitude on the inhabitants, and, besides, from its influence over the animal and vegetable worlds, it of course alters their mode of diet and life in general, which alterations are, no doubt, those which originally caused the great varieties of the human race, descended from one stock, as we believe it to be. But still more striking changes occur when there is no such change of latitude, when we find that other causes leader the soil, air, climate, and provisions, such changes as those affected by mountain chains, as, for example, in the Cordilleras, where, on the west coast towards the Pacific Ocean, the people are fair, while, on the other side, brown and copper colored, like the other.
Let me read that part for y'all again, real quick. I'll show y'all this. Pacific Ocean. The people are fair, while on the other side, brown and copper colored, like the other American races. Brown and copper colored, like the other American races. The normal being protected by the mountains, and the latter exposed to the hot burning sands. That's a very interesting point. I want to put that in the chat for you guys. I don't know if y'all get it, but anyway, check this out. It said the human races. We're going to go back again if y'all didn't get that. It said the human races. What is a human? What is a human? Y'all know what a human is? Y'all know what a human is? Let's check it out. Human, relating to or the characteristics of people. We know what a people is. A people is not even a natural being. The characteristic of people or human beings. Then it says the human body in parentheses. Then it says a human being, especially a person as distinguished from an animal or science fiction and alien. But look at them. Person, human being. Let's check this out. Person, similar person, human being, a personage, mortal. When you think of mort is dead. That's a dead cell. Dead, mortal. Member of the human race. Human race. Now, what did it just say up here? It just told you. Where is it? Let me go back to it. It says that, was it on the previous page? Let me go now. No, I think it's up here. All right. Okay. Listen, it says right here. It, of course, alters their mode of diet and life in general, which alterations are no doubt those which originally caused the great varieties of the human race, which descended from one stock. And we believe it to be that one stock of the human race. But they saying it's all these different races, but it's one stock. A stock is one stock. That's like your genetics. So if it's a stock, how can they have so many different races descend from a particular one stock and then say it's different races? How can you have different races from the same stock? That's like saying all Indians ain't Indians. We from the same stock. Y'all get it, right? Y'all see the difference in what they're trying to show you here. It's telling you right here they were a human. We're not really human, right? That's a different type of being. That's where the Adam and Eve story comes in, the atomic structure. But that's not us. You know, we use this avatar, but that's not really the us. We are the I am, right? The whole like everything. Like you don't get that. I don't know what to tell you. But let's go. It says the copper colored like the other American races, brown and copper like the other American races. Come on now. Let's finish this.
American races,
we're gonna be doing
the
these
former being
videos.
Protected by the mountains, and the latter exposed to the hot burning sands.
That part.
On a smaller scale, but in a more marked manner, lands occur in the human race in mountainous districts. So here,
in mountainous districts, why do they be? Why are humans in the mountain district, guys? Why do you think the humans are in the mountainous district? In the hilly countries, right? All the people that these Christians derive from, most of these people come from these mountainous areas in the cold. They're in the cold, created in. Let's just continue.
District, so observable as in these, mountaineers form a class distinct from those of the low countries, as we see in a marked manner in Scotland, and bided in all hilly countries.
Talking about them.
But even among the inhabitants of the mountains themselves, the variety is great. As you find that at the top of high mountain chains nothing exists but fields of snow and masses of ice, which the sun of Jacan Sharifs has not melted, that some thousands of feet below a few lichens begin to clothe the bare rocks, forming like commencement of vegetation, that then, by the influence ilt those lichens and the atmosphere, the rock becomes disintegrated, and a fine sand is produced, in which a hardy laxifrac or gentian makes its appearance, that this sand, vad the decayed flower, is washed down, and affords nourishing for another and more delicate species, inhabiting the Jager alpine valleys, and that, descending still, we meet earth grubs and large herbs, and trees, so we find changes one the form of man at the different elevations, as equally marked as those of the vegetation by which he is surrounded. One in those highest alpine meadows, immediately bordering on the region of perpetual snows, where the little gentian and the Soclaila raise their heads among the scanty herbage, men, herdsmen, and shepherds, a strong and hardy race, are to be found. But here is no fit place for the rei sidenco of man. As autumn draws on, they must leave their temporary abodes, and go deeper into the valleys, when, as they say in Switzerland, die Alp ist abgeschnitten, the Alps are eaten up. Deeper down in the valleys, where the rhododendron marks the vegetation, we find 2 or 3 houses collected together, forming a village, where these men live, perched as in eagles' nests, upon the cliffs, behind some trifling protection from the thundering avalanche, and hidden a great part of the year by mists. Of such villages are many in Savoy, Tyrol, the Orizons, and the Valais. The inhabitants of these high quarters are remarkable for their bodily size, their activity, ingenuity, and mental abilities, strengthened and sharpened by the cold and wind. We now dip deeper into the valleys, where the rivers are larger, the air milder and denser, and here we have a richly wooded vegetation, and gradually the healthy appearance and bodily strength of the inhabitants seems to give way, so that, in the deepest valleys, by the river sides, as, for example, by the Rhone, in Lower Valais, we find sluggishness, ugliness, weakness, and various diseases to be characteristic of the people. Of these diseases, a soft, projecting, clastic tumor, occupying the front of the neck, called bronchocele, or goitre, is the commonest, and is, indeed, almost characteristic of POM of the subalpine districts of Switzerland, Tyrol, and the whole of the south of Europe. For typic, comi, and many causes have been assigned, such as The straining occasioned by the carrying of heavy weights on the head, the congestion of the head and neck attendant on much climbing of hills, the constant drinking of snowy water and melted ice, the confined state of the valleys, and many more. Such opinions have all their supporter SJ both in facts and persons, and have all objections. We find, for instance, in the valleys of the Rhine, say near Bonn, Ibingerage or St. Gore, or on the Moselle, where goitre it frequent, that the people carry weights on their heads, but if disease is commoner far in the Valais, where the burdens are borne on the back. The inhabitants of the upper Uhone valleys, no doubt deriving their water from that stream, do drink melted snow and ice, and have goitre, but the same remark does not apply to the neighborhood of Treves, the Ahr valley near Bonn, or to Derbyshire, where goitre is also common. The popular belief in Imani places lays the blame on the waters, and will find Marie especially in Styria * wells from which the inhabitants iteer to drink, or, having by any accident drunk out of them, they rush to an antidotal well to counteract the had effects. WV had ever the first well may contain, we find tly second to, abound in iodine, which would seem to be nature's specific for the complaint. Captain A. Gerhard, however, in his Trifles in the Himalaya Mountains, says that although Ithkara worries can got nothing but snow for some months in Thayer, they are not so subject to goitre as the people who hive in the damp grounds in the forests at the foot of the hills, where there can be no snow water. Again, in many of the countries mentioned, in Styria, in Tyrol, in Switzerland, in the Eifel, on the Rhine, or in Derbyshire, where goitre is very abundant, it is found coupled with a peculiar formation of TTHE valleys. These are, generally speaking, narrow and enclosed, and forming series of amphitheaters with two nodes of exit, or, it may be, only one. Here the air is not affected by many ordinary winds, the spots are almost always calm, and is but little motion or current in the lower atmosphere. This is held by some to account for the disease, but yet it is at once set aside.
So I think this book is cut off. That's why it's not reading it right when it comes to this side right here. Ooh, that's annoying me. I know I was hearing something weird. It says the lower atmosphere. This is held by some on the account for the disease. It says, but it is at once set aside by the fact that there are many such valleys as in Scotland, where goitre is rare and unknown, and besides that it occurs abundantly in plains as in the plains of India, where there are no hills whatsoever. Some again have imputed the disease to a low
by the fact
diet,
that there are many 50, again have imputed that is meant by the objection that low living is found in every country and climate, and in its worst degree, without our finding any such result to arise from it. The most probable hypothesis is that which regards the origin of the disease as being connected with the geological structure of the countries in which it occurs. This idea has been entertained by many authors, and is now the generally adopted one, but, as we shall afterwards find, it is insufficient, and not applicable in all cases, although, when taken along with other data, it must be regarded as the best explanation. Others have attributed the disease solely to the want of iodine and bromine in the water, but this may be viewed as a branch of the former hypothesis. But this, although at the same time allied to it, is somewhat apart from our subject, but we shall return to it in the consideration of the next, the highest degree of evil to which the inhabitants of the lower valleys are subject. This is cretinism. By the word cretin, we understand a being deformed and distorted, an abortion of man, peculiarized by a pale leaden color of the face, by a flaccidity of the flesh, an unexcitable nature, and extraordinary amount of laziness and inactivity, an inability to speak or utter inarticulate sounds, and generally with very large goitre, a circumstance which has led to a much misunderstood connection of the two complaints.
Definitely.
Cretinism may be looked upon as being the highest stage of idiocy, although it differs from it in having a vitiated state of the body, in conjunction with the loss of the faculties of the mind. Thus it is composed of two distinct elements, the one, idiocy, the other, bad habit. A body. The derivation of the name is obscure. M. Viry, in the Dictionnaire des Sciences Médicales, derives it from cretiui because, he says, the individuals affected with cretinism, and called also cogits, are simple and humble, and are revered as very pious personages in the valleys of the Alps. The Turks, he adds, honor idiots from the same cause. I am not inclined to favor his derivation, but would rather uphold the following. The inhabitants of the Kui tricks in which cretins are found, invariably pity, and talk of them as poor unfortunate creatures.
Appreciate you. Appreciate
the
your
Terra
support too, brother.
Shop is universal where the German language exists. His TCRN carat I find to have come probably from the Canton Valais, where they are spoken of as Cretan and Creatui, and indeed the word Creter is frequently applied by the Germans also. From this we may conjecture that the word Cretan is derived from the Latin creatura, and a connecting link between the two is afforded us by the Romanche, that extraordinary language of the Grisons, the nearest step to ancient Latin now existing. In Oliage the name is Cretera, having exactly the meaning of the German Geschöpf. Thus we form creatura carat Cretera. Cretan. The name Cretan has been adopted in the English and German languages, but there are other provincial names by which they are known, all having a similar meaning, and derived from some peculiar feature in their appearance. Thus, for example, in Carinthia, they are called Tokern, Tosien in Styria, Trotteln in many parts of Austria, Tocken in the Tyrol, Totteln in Salzburg, Fexen in Württemberg, and Lallen in various other countries, the last term being in imitation of the sound of the voice. In the discussion of the facts relating to this abortion of man, I purpose saying a few words, carat r asterisk carat, with respect to their geographical distribution, secondly, on their appearance and peculiarities, thirdly, on the cause of the disease, and, thirdly, on the mode of alleviating it.
It said fourthly.
It
said fourthly. So it said it's still trying to different stock, different this and that, but we know it just told you they're from the same stock. They all from the same stock, like literally the same stock. Trying to make it sound like it's 1,000. Oh, they got all these different people. Oh, they just so numerous. And come on now, stop playing. Y'all the same people from the same stock. Y'all already admitted that. Like, come on, let's make this make sense. We may get back to that, but I want y'all to hear more of this before I get up out of here, because y'all already know I told y'all I ain't gonna be doing all these heavy builds like that. I don't have the time to, devote like that, and I just can't. I gotta do too many other things. But let's get to this. Listen to this real quick, and we're gonna get back to this now. Get back to these people, these Jewish Christians, the Jewish Christians, but they say they Jewish from a synagogue, and okay, but let's go. Oh, we got to rewind it. It's doing all this. Lord, that's so annoying. We was reading a whole nother book, though, huh?
Many controversial points, and to provide the acknowledging that for this purpose I have striven to be as impartial and just as a subject in which partiality and injustice have previously played so large a part will allow. I believe that I have fairly represented the attitude of the Gentile Church and of the Jewish people. I have not sought to gloss over the failings of the Jewish Christians, while freeing them from a great deal of misrepresentation. The measure of my faithfulness to what deemed to be the facts will be for the reader himself to judge. Criticism is likely to come because of my treatment of the early days of Christianity, but I trust that readers will be broad-minded enough to concede my right of interpretation of the fragmentary data.
Do y'all understand now, after understanding more about the Cretans, somebody put a 1 in the chat if y'all understand why these Jewish people do not want to be called Christians or Cretans. Christians or Cretans. Y'all understand why they don't want to be called Christians or Cretans, even though this is who they were. Let's go.
In the way that have done. The evidences have been accumulating, and partly due to the painstaking if unpalatable researches of Dr. Robert Easler, which tend to show that Jewish Christianity was a much more fundamental thing, politically, socially, and spiritually than ecclesiastical historians have been disposed to admit. One day the whole story of Christian beginnings will have to be rewritten, and any day may bring to light again part of the vanished record. Even that very gospel
like
which
today.
the Nazarenes cherished may ere long be restored. Having said so much by way of explanation of the nature and need for such a history, it is necessary to add that there are contributory factors which make the publication of this work both timely and essential. We can mark in our own day the beginnings of the return of the great Gentile churches to the simpler faith and Christology of the early Jewish Christians. During the past century and a half there has been manifested a progressive reorientation, a Zionism of faith. Not only those who are Israelites by race have turned their hearts towards Jerusalem. The attempts of the several denominations to model their government and order on what they believe to be the lines laid down in the primitive church, the renewal of foreign missionary activity, phenomenal manifestations like the revival of prophecy and speaking with tongues. Second, Adventism, the intensified quest for the historical Jesus, the acceptance of their Messiah by thousands of Jews. All these and many more are signs to the discerning that the will has turned full circle, and that the message of salvation that went forth from Zion is returning to Zion again, parallel with the dispersion and restoration of the Jewish people. If it is permissible to coin a new word, this trend may best be described as the rejuvenescence of Christianity. From the libraries of the Near East and the sands of Egypt, many precious records of the early church are being brought to light which can assist us in reconstructing its history and beliefs. While the recovery of the ancient gospel manuscripts enable the modern disciple to catch in ever clearer accents the utterances of his master, it is being increasingly recognized how impossible is the attitude which would divorce Christianity from its Jewish origin and associations. As Henry Ward Beecher wrote 50 years ago, the ignorance and superstition of medieval Europe may account for the prejudices of the Dark Age. But how a Christian nowadays can turn from a Jew, I cannot imagine. Christianity itself sucked at the bosom of Judaism. Our roots are in the Old Testament. We are Jews ourselves gone to blossom and fruit. Christianity is Judaism in evolution, and it would seem strange for the seed to turn against the stock on which it was grown.
Against the
state of affairs in Germany under the Hitler regime shows clearly that anti-Judaism is equally anti-Christianity.
Against the stock, didn't we just say it?
Christianity
they denying they stock, y'all. Stop denying your stock. You're not us. Let's go.
Of Judaism. Our roots are in the Old Testament. We are Jews ourselves gone to blossom and fruit. Christianity is Judaism in evolution, and it would seem strange for the seed to turn against the stock on which it was grown. The state of affairs in Germany under the Hitler regime shows clearly that anti-Judaism is equally anti-Christianity. The only alternative to both is a revived paganism, and this, while it is more blatantly flaunted by a section of the Nazis, is subtly reflected elsewhere in the churches by a modern Neoplatonism. History does have a way of repeating itself, and it is to be anticipated that before there can be a return to the original faith of the Prophet of Nazareth, there will be a recrudescence of many ancient heresies. Theosophy and spiritualism have already restored Gnosticism to its place in the borderline of Christianity. The church will do well to heed the admonition of Isaiah to look unto Abraham your father, and unto Sarah that bare you. As the times of the Gentiles run out, it is probable that Jewish Christianity will steadily regain its original position of authority and will enunciate simple and universal principles of Christian belief in which the unity of God and the Messiahship of Jesus will be the fundamentals, acceptable alike to Jew and Gentile. Jewish Christians will become the intermediaries between East and West, the healers of old wounds, the heralds of the kingdom of God. For these greater reasons which transcend the claims of scholarship, the story of Jewish Christianity is deserving of the utmost consideration, and those of us who can look at history with the eye of faith may ask with Zangwill in his Blind
Children,
on
our stuff
do
and
we
make it
sport
theirs.
carelessly, blindly upon the verge of an apocalypse? Hugh J. Schonfield. Chapter I1. When the early ministry of Jesus was finished, there remained as the fruits of his teaching a number of Jews who were convinced that he was their expected Messiah. Between these Jewish believers distributed among the towns and villages of Palestine, little or no connection at first existed. Their life remained unaltered. They worshipped in the synagogues with their fellow Jews, and were distinguished only by their adherence to the Galilean wonder worker, whose claims they no doubt pressed as occasion offered. The driving force of the future Nazarene sect was concentrated in a small body of the Messiah's most intimate friends and some members of his family, who, according to the account in Acts, took up residence in Jerusalem in anticipation of his speedy and glorious return. This was the fundamental and the inspiration of their teaching, the resurrection and ascension of the Messiah and his coming again in due season to re-establish the kingdom of God and of Israel. It was this belief, and the power of it, that invested the original community of humble persons, fishermen, and...
I want y'all to understand that. It says the power. It says it was this belief and the power of it. That's such an important, just the beginning of that statement right there. It was this belief and the power of it, letting you know if you're putting power into something that you're believing, it's giving it more strength. The same way when a person is believing all these indoctrinations of religion, they get it in their mind. Oh, yes. Putting everything outside of themselves. They're visualizing something outside of themselves, being more magnificent than they are, being more omnipotent than the power and the energy that they have and have already had from their ancestors that's been passed down to themselves. I mean, come on, guys. I don't want to get into all of that. But what I'm saying is, when you're thinking about this, right? A belief, when you're giving it power, it's like you're charging it. If you have a lie, a belief is a lie. If you have a lie, because it's not true, the only truth is the word, the truth, and the light. The light is going to shine true. You know it's the truth because the fact's right there in your face. There's no denying that truth, right? But when you're thinking about something and believing something, it's a lie. If you're going off of a belief, you already know it's a lie. You got to know for yourself. You got to know it's the truth. You know, you have to understand these things, right? And when you're doing that, you're fueling, you're charging. You know, somebody tell you something, you just say, ooh, that's true. Oh my gosh. You took that lie on, you giving the power to it. You're feeding the energy, negative, positive, whatever it is. You're feeding that energy because you're giving more power to the lie, to the story, to what's being put out as a premise. These things you're giving the energy to, you're giving the power to it by participating with the nonsense. But let's go.
Artisans, with a dignity and confidence of utterance that was electrifying and contagious,
and that
ran like wildfire through the oppressed classes of the population and particularly attracted the patriots and religious zealots, already stirred and exalted by messianic visions. This was the pregnant message, the good news for which they had been waiting, the great fact born of actual knowledge and experience which anchored indefinite hope to the strong rack of reality. Under the leadership of Simon Bar-Yonah, called Peter, the Galilean fanatics, as they were then known, carried on an energetic propaganda in the name of Jesus, proclaiming his messiahship in the temple courts, synagogues, markets, and every place of public assembly.
Where they just
as devout Jews, they were regular attendants at the diets of worship, while they sustained their cause by informal prayer and discussion at the houses of some of their number. Under the leadership of Simon Bar-Yonah, called Peter, the Galilean fanatics, as they were then known, carried on an energetic propaganda in the name of Jesus, proclaiming his messiahship in the temple courts, synagogues, markets,
you mean it's a hold on. It said under the leadership of Simon Bar-Yonah, who was Peter, right? The Galatian fanatics, as they were then known, Peter being a Galatian, remember they said Peter was one of the 12 disciples. Remember who Peter is. If you don't know who Peter is, you can look it up. Okay. One of the Galatian fanatics, as they were then known, they carried on an energetic propaganda. I don't think y'all understanding the depth of this. I know I'm being what we just said, y'all shadow banned. And I know it's only a few people here, but y'all know how important this is and how important it is that you really see this for yourself, even though you know this, but now you're seeing them telling you for your damn self. I mean, come on, y'all. Can't get no clearer than this. That part says an energetic one at that. Come on, stop playing. Y'all know how real this is? This is like so deep. It's telling you how these guys perpetrated a propaganda. What did it just say? It said the propaganda. Let me show y'all what a propaganda is, just in case y'all don't know. Let's see, what is propaganda? What is propaganda? Let's see what it is. Let's get the definition real quick. Propaganda. Okay. Propaganda definition is the information, especially of a biased or a misleading nature. Propaganda, information, especially of a biased or a misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause. Wait a minute. Hold on. A political cause or a point of view? Oh, wait a minute. Do you mean to tell me that propaganda being part of a political cause or point of view being in relation to what we always say? Religion, and it all goes together, right? It all goes together. Religion and government, religion and politics, religion. They said that they created the propaganda. Yes, misleading, the propaganda. Yes, investing, feeding. Yes, it's exactly. Information bias. What y'all think of that? What y'all think of that? Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy how they just tell them themselves? Now check this out. So it's telling me what it is. Now listen, it was created as what? By what and who? As what? A committee of cardinals of the Roman Catholic Church responsible for foreign missions that were founded in 1622 by Pope Gregory the 15th. The cardinals. We won't get into the cardinals because y'all know who these people are. They're these Catholic fake. But y'all know. Before we even move from this page and go back to the book, I want y'all to hear this. What was I going to look up? Tory. I was telling somebody about this and they didn't understand this. What is a Tory? What is a Tory? The terms Tory is a loyalist, it's a royalist or king's men. That kind of sounds like those same contributors, Terry's they were just speaking on. King's men were used by patriots to label those who remained loyal to the mother country. Loyal to the mother country. The mother country. And the word Tory comes from several Middle Irish words meaning robbers, outlaws, or pursued men. Let's check this out. That's in regards to the Revolutionary War. Now check this out. What is Tory in? Hold on. In politics. What is a Tory? Tory, an individual who supports a political philosophy known as Toryism, right? Based on a British version of a traditional conservatism, which upholds an established social order as it has evolved through the history of Britain. Now check this out, guys. I want you guys to see one more thing. Hold on. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. One more time. So Tory is telling me what a Tory is, right? So when they tell you that they're giving you what? Let's see. When they say they're giving you his Tory, right? When they say they're giving you his Tory, right? It doesn't say his story. It does not say his story. It says his Tory, not his story. This is how you would spell history. This is not how you spell history. They're telling you is when you're looking into his story, it's his Tory. It's not his story. Oh my gosh, guys, you gotta make sure you're paying attention. See how they try to trick you and play with words and things of that nature. But let's finish reading this.
The public assembly. As devout Jews, they were regular attendants at the diets of worship, while they sustained their cause by informal prayer and discussion at the houses of some of their number. To the Jewish authorities they represented one of the many ways with which Jerusalem was vexed. The capital, at this time, was a hotbed of peculiar people offering infallible remedies for the nation's undoubted ills. They had to be tolerated for the sake of peace, and were only interfered with when that peace was endangered by their 11 loud-voiced activities. The first glimpse of the Nazarenes is then as rugged men with enthusiasm burning in their faces, with 1,000 tongues to tell their master's praise, proclaiming his coming to seething. Masses of their compatriots aggravated by the domination of Rome and the tyranny of the Sadducean hierarchy. Figures become fanciful at such times, but there must be something in that first tale in the Acts of 3,000 souls added. 5,000 men who had believed. Easler has overstressed the political aspect, but there is undoubted irony in what he says, that the announcement of the resurrection was originally disseminated among the people by the Jewish Christians in connection with a purely political message and with a distinctly political aim. The resurrection of Jesus was originally preached, not to a circle of mystics, like the resurrection of the dying mystery gods or that of the grass and calm spirit rising again from the earth, as an illustration and guarantee of the individual's immortality. Be of good cheer, O initiated ones, the God is saved, you too will find salvation in your pains. No. The Jewish partisans of Jesus preached to the people that certainty of the impending liberation from bondage, nor did they mean, like Paul, liberation from the bondage of sin and wicked spirits, but quite literally liberation from the yoke of their well-known worldly oppressors. Jesus was to return and liberate Israel from bondage in no other sense that King Arthur was believed by the Welsh of the Middle Ages to return to free his people from the Saxon and Norman oppressors. The mind of today can with difficulty conceive the sainted apostles of the Christian faith in the setting of incipient revolution, conducting a propaganda which was half a revivalist campaign and half a class war. To enter into the spirit of those days, to sympathize with the exuberant communism, the jubilant fanaticism, that turned the narrow streets of Jerusalem and the very steps of the sanctuary into a battleground of explosive elements subversive of ordered government, a great many traditional conceptions have to be sacrificed. The canonical documents smooth away most of the rough edges, but the grim truth will not be gainsaid, and through diverse channels WC obtain a picture more in keep of Josephus and the Talmud we 12 know them to have been. In a fragment of the Gospel of Peter, the disciples after the crucifixion are found in hiding for fear of the authorities, for we were sought for by them as malefactors, and as desiring to burn the temple. An uncensored edition of the Josephine states that, in those days, i.e., of the Emperor Caius, there were wars and quarrels in Judea between the Pharisees and the brigands of our people who followed the son of Joseph. A very early tradition quoted by Clement of Alexandria from the preaching of Peter, and supported by Apollonius, has it that Jesus said to the apostles, "If anyone of Israel wishes to repent, and by my name to believe in God, his sins shall be forgiven him. After 12 years go forth into the world, that no one may say, we have not heard." There is at least this much of truth in the saying that it would appear that the followers of Jesus in Jerusalem did not for a considerable time make any organized attempt to communicate with believers in the provinces. The success of their preaching in the capital must, however, have quickly necessitated some local organization. An indication of this may be found in Acts 6:1. And in those days, when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Hellenists, foreign-born Jews, against the Hebrews, home-born, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration. This led, we are told, to the appointment of 7 Parnasim, deacons, to deal with the distribution of alms. There is no direct evidence to show whether the adoption of this synagogal custom implies the establishment of a Nazarene synagogue, but there is a certain amount of indirect evidence to suggest it. Any group of Jews which comprised 10 Batlanim, men of leisure, could found a synagogue, and there were numerous synagogues in Jerusalem representing nationalities, trades, and no doubt ways as well. Oesterle has proved that many elements in the early Christian liturgy derive from the liturgy of the synagogue, and it is not, therefore, unreasonable to suppose that those of the way of Jesus did, in fact, establish a synagogue of their own. Such a meeting house may have been situated, especially in view of the Hellenists, close by that of the freedmen, Cyrenians, and Alexandrians, and of them of Cilicia and of Asia, with 13 whose members the deacon, Stephen, came into wordy conflict, with the result that he was accused of blasphemy and haled before the Jewish ecclesiastical council. Saul of Tarsus, a Cilician, was quite possibly a prominent member of the very synagogue which laid information against him. It is expressly stated, that when Stephen was found guilty, Saul was consenting unto his death, and some acquaintance with the witnesses who stoned Stephen is clearly implied. The authorities had already had to take notice of the Nazarenes through the outspokenness of Peter and John, and they were probably very glad of the opportunity to curb the growing influence of these disturbing elements in the city. Their harshness in dealing with Stephen seems due to their determination to make an example of him. The outbreak against the Nazarenes which followed Stephen's execution does not appear to have been authorized by the council. Saul, himself, seems to have been the instigator of the attack. It was he, who breathing out threatening and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went unto the high priest, and desired of him letters to Damascus to the synagogues, that if he found any of the way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them bound to Jerusalem. Asterisk the Nazarene Acts, reflected in the Clementine Recognitions, shows him breaking up a disputation between the apostles and the chief priests like a madman, inciting everyone to murder, shouting, "What do ye? Why do ye hesitate? Ye sluggish and inert. Why do we not lay hands upon them, and pull all these fellows to pieces?" When he had said this, he first, seizing a brand, set the example of smiting Carrot. The same account goes on to relate that Saul even attacked James, the brother of Jesus, hurling him down the temple steps, and leaving him for dead, and that he set out for Damascus because he believed that Peter had fled there. In fact, however, the Nazarene leader had taken refuge in Jericho.
Yeah, you hear these stories, it'd be so convoluted and mixed up from everything that they teach you, right? Everything. I'm about to get out of here, guys. Peace, love, and bless to everybody that came through. I will be playing this quick video before we get out of here. This on my TikTok. Y'all need to go to my TikTok. I put a lot of information on there as well. I want y'all to see these portal pictures, these moon portal pictures before we get up out of here. There's a couple of them. Look, make sure y'all watching. Make sure you guys are watching. Interesting. What is going on with this bubble ass clear moon? Y'all see this? Do y'all see this though? I'm just wondering if y'all see it. Do y'all see it though? You welcome, Leslie. Peace, love, and blessings. Do y'all see this moon picture? Y'all think this is a game? These snapshots, every picture y'all looking at are snapshots that was back to back to back. I ain't do nothing to these pictures. I couldn't change them. I don't even know how to change a picture. I ain't gonna even lie. But hold on, I want y'all to see this again. Y'all see this one? What is this? What is this? Who is this? What is this? Okay, look, y'all be thinking I'm crazy, but come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Hold on. I want y'all to zoom in. I want to zoom in on this one, this portal picture right here. Hold on, slow down. Let me see if it's gonna let me zoom in. It's gonna let me zoom in. Nope. Let me see. It won't let me zoom in. Go to my page. I want y'all to zoom in on this picture. Oh my gosh. I wanna I can't pull it up, it's in my phone, guys, but y'all need to go to my TikTok and zoom in on this picture right here and look at all of this beauty. Check this out. at this. Look at this, y'all. Can y'all see this? Like, I don't know if y'all got the eye to see. Having one eye vision is the best thing in the world. Do y'all got the eyes to see this? Let's go. Hold on, let's go back to that. Look how the moon is changing, y'all, in split half seconds. Look at this one. Look at this portal. If y'all keep telling me that y'all don't see these portals in these pictures I keep showing y'all can think it's mind games, playing tricks with your eyes. I don't know. If y'all can't see, I can see real good. Yes, I was sitting right on the balcony. That picture, I was sitting on the balcony. Sitting right on the balcony, just chilling. Like, I looked up, I'm like, whoa, it was bright out too. I'm like, it's daylight. I'm like, what's going on with this damn moon? And it started going and changing and went to a bubble. And this right here, this one tripped me out right here. This trips me out right here. All of them. Because I just don't understand why people don't see it. Maybe they can't see. Maybe they can't see. They got to be built like this. They got to be built like this. You guys are awesome. Peace, love, and bliss to everybody. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Everybody that did come through, I hope you guys enjoyed the information and learned something. Understanding that these Christians, when somebody tells you a Christian, make your Christian family understand what a Christian is. Show them this video. Say, well, I want you to understand what a Christian is. It's a cretin. It's a person that's brain deficient from iodine. They have thyroid issues, all these mental decapities because they're capsulated off because they don't have Christ's mind. They are anti-Christ, but they're telling you Christian is part of a religious aspect into this Jesus persona. And they just told y'all that what Jesus persona was a propaganda. It's propaganda. It told you it's propaganda that they set up. They said they set up the propaganda. Oh, man, y'all, I don't know what to tell y'all. I mean, I'm just showing y'all a little bit of information. Peace, love, and bliss, guys. Y'all have a great day, and I am out.